Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Wavelength Wednesdays. My name is Waveney, and I'm your host. And if you are new to my vlog, to my YouTube channel, or Facebook, wherever you're viewing this, welcome, welcome, welcome. And every week, I bring you tips and strategies that are geared towards connecting, inspiring, and influencing you to being your best in your career and your personal life. And so, thank you once again for tuning in. And I am excited to be sharing with you. And throughout these last, 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, I have been sharing about how to thrive during a pandemic. All right, things that you can do. So the first one I did was called How to Thrive, and it gave a broad overview of the things that you can do to help you get settled, to help you adjust to this new normal. I'm trying to kind of, because I could see my reflection in my glasses. Yeah. So that was the first video. The second one was about work, the future of work, where I think that we are going to be headed. And I'll probably circle back and do another one when we've come out of all these stay-at-homes, and let's see what the new normal is like. So I'll probably do another one. But today I thought that I would delve deeper, and so today is really about things that you can do to support your mental health. And it is a very uncertain time. It is a time that people are panicking. It's a time that there's a lot of fear going around. And in one of my earlier videos, I spoke about the fact that if you never believed in energy, you certainly will know, because you can actually feel the fear. The last time I went to the supermarket, which was about probably 3 weeks ago, thank goodness, I was so stressed out. Nobody was rushing me. I had to wait in a line, which is now the new normal, to get in. The line itself wasn't bad, but I just felt really stressed out, and I just felt that energy around. So I can only imagine. I think I may have to go this week, so who knows what that is going to be like. But you can actually feel, the fear, the uncertainty. You can feel all those feelings. And so, looking at social media, chatting to persons, all of that is coming out. And so I thought that it would be really fitting to share with you some tips that I think would help with your mental health support during this time. They have certainly helped me. I want to preface all this by saying I am not a mental health worker. If you've been looking at my channel for some time, you know that my area of expertise is in HR, but I take a holistic approach to this entire thing, because outside of this pandemic, if somebody has something going on in their personal lives, it will affect their work. And a lot of the times, leaders like to say, well, leave your work, you leave your personal life at home. And for a long time, I was one of those persons who thought that you just need to leave whatever it is at home, but that's not possible. That's not possible. And it's every facet of our life, our mental, spiritual, physical, emotional health makes us up to who we are. And so I really touch on all facets in my videos. And so today, mental health is important, and I want to speak to you about that, and things that you can do to help support you during this time. And so let's get into it. So mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being, right? So mental health, when people speak about it, it includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel and act, and it also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. And I smiled when I saw this description because all aspects of our lives right now are being touched as it relates to that. And I don't know about you, but I know that when I'm tired or when I am stressed out, I am a totally different person. Um, I I snap very easily. My patience runs very low, which is why I've come to realize when I'm getting tired and know that I need to take a break. And also know when I'm stressed out, I should not be making decisions. I need to pay close attention to myself because, it affects me. So imagine now, with all that's going on, that there are some persons that are not handling this well. And, the world is comprised of, and there's probably more, introverts and extroverts, some of us, and there's probably more along that scale, but I don't know them. And I am an introvert by design. It doesn't appear that way, but I am. I love my own company. I can, this stay at home, I find it to be really refreshing. I enjoy being by myself. I read, I'm doing other stuff, and I am fine. I do miss the outside, like I do miss the beach. I miss all that, but I'm fine, you know, on a whole. But there's some persons that they crave, like I have a friend, they crave that they're extroverts. They crave that connection. They crave that gathering. They crave that. And for a lot of people, even introverts, for a lot of people, this is a really, really difficult time because we are social creatures. We are meant to connect with each other. I mean, even though I'm home and I don't necessarily miss going out, you know, I have friends that I touch base with, right? But if that were to be taken away, I'm sure I would be feeling a bit more down. I still would crave that connection in any way, shape, or form. We are designed for being connected, okay? We're designed that way. And so, one of the things that I see happening is we have so much, and if you see me flipping, I'm trying. This video will probably turn out fine, but it's just that I can see kind of like my reflection in it. Um, we have One of the things that's happening is we have so much time on our hands. We are now confronted with ourselves. There's nothing, we can't go out. The activities are limited. If you're a person that just goes, and now you've had to slow down, like all of us has had to slow down. We're now confronted with ourselves, and for some persons that can be very scary because now you are faced with your thoughts. Now memories come up of things that maybe that you did well, that you didn't do well. You're now, some persons, reflecting a lot, and that can be a bit much on our mind, on our brain, on our body, and that in itself can cause stress. All right, so these are all the things that are going on. And the other thing is these feelings that, well, before I get to the feelings, is I want to say again, and I've said it in that first video, thriving, I think it was episode 42. Go and look at it. It's a really great video. It all begins and ends with your mind. Everything is in your mind. It's between here. It's a mindset. And we have to, some persons are great at it and some aren't. Again, I am not a mental health worker. And so if you need additional help, um, you probably need to get additional help, right? My advice is not my advice is things that I've done, things that I think will work, but I'm not a licensed mental health practitioner, if that's the right term. And I just want to put that out there, okay? But I do have some great advice. So it begins and ends with the mind with anything. Anything begins and ends with the mind. How we show up in life, it begins, it's a mindset, and we need to train our minds. Otherwise, it'll run amok, and our mind will tell us things that are not true. Um, and for example, have you ever maybe started a project or started something, maybe school, maybe doing something or launched a new business, even me with the people's brand, and your mind is telling you, what are you doing? What are you going to do? Da, 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 da. Our mind does that. And so we have to train ourselves to, you know, really tame our minds. All right. And so the other thing too that is coming out of this whole thing is the language that we use. And I think that really doesn't help much, the language that is being used during this time. And when I am not knocking the powers that be, because I guess this is the official terminology, but what do all these words have in common? Lockdown, quarantine, isolation, right? All those words have a negative connotation. You get locked down, they use that term in prison, right? Quarantine. Quarantine is when you take somebody out of you, they're quarantined, you take them away from. So they're still away from people. And isolation, people use that when people are in solitary isolation. That's another term they use in prison. Quarantine, yes, is mostly used. I'm not sure if they use it when you're in prison as well, but I know it's used for sickness, for illnesses. So it's a term that's used in the medical community. But either which way, all of these words have negative connotations, and these are the words that we are hearing quite often, right? I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, inmates, how are you?" Da da da. And I know it's a joke, and I am not knocking that it's a joke, but words carry power. I'm sorry, words carry power. And so and I think I said it last week, I had somebody make a joke and say, "Hi, inmate, good night, inmate, how are you?" I said, "I am not an inmate." They said something about lockdown, and I said, I am not locked down, I am safe at home, right? And I think the words that we choose to use for ourselves during this time really, really will help. It's something simple, but it really will help. Yes, the official word coming from the powers that be, the government, or what have you, when they are updating us daily, yes, they may use these terms. Everybody understands them. Those are the official terms to be used. But I feel like we can go a step further and then we can change the language. We are safe at home. We're not on lockdown. We're safe at home, because that's exactly what we are, safe at home, right? And so out of all of this, a lot of feelings are coming up. The feelings of anxiety, very anxious. We don't know what's going to happen. Fear, impatience. We're impatient. And some of us may be depressed. And depending on your makeup, your mental makeup, some of us may have this mildly, or some of us may have this more severely. Okay? And so Our minds are the filters through which, again, it comes back to the mind. Our minds are the filters through which we see and interact with the world. And so, having said all that, I want to introduce to you now some things that I feel and that I've personally used to help me get through this time. And again, I am saying to you, I am not um, a licensed psychotherapist or a licensed counselor. I'm not none of those things. I am just an HR professional who is sharing with you tips that she's used, tips that I know worked for other people, and so I'm on here sharing this with you. So number one is every day we have to find something to be grateful for, and it's gratitude. And why did I start with gratitude? I started with gratitude because gratitude, and there's science behind this, gratitude and studies, gratitude shifts the energy on what is going right for you, and as opposed to what is going wrong. And I feel like during this time we see a lot of what is wrong, what is happening, da 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 da, da, and we are bombarded constantly. And you have to take stock of that. Yes, you need to keep informed. I am informed, but I limit my intake of the media. I limit the intake of conversations that I feel are going in another direction. I know I'm straying a bit. A lot of the times right now too, people are sending around a lot of YouTube videos of nurses, of doctors, of all kind of people saying, oh, this is a conspiracy, oh, this is that, oh, this person died, oh, da, da, da. I mean, I, at some point, I have like my quota of those that I look at. And if some days I don't even look at them because it is too much. It is too much. I mean, how much info are you going to be bombarded with? Can you imagine when you're studying, you're in school and you're studying, or if you're at a training and there's a lot of information being thrown at you? Can you, do you remember how you feel like, oh my God, you come out of that training, yes, it was a great training, but it was so much info. This is what's happening. It's right now. The only thing is this is all negative. This is all negative. And so we have to take control of our lives. So start with gratitude. I start my day with gratitude. I list 3 things, and this is even well before COVID-19. Every day I get up, I look for 3 things that I am grateful for, right? And I encourage you, I'm not going to tell you do 3. I would suggest that you look for 1 great thing that you are grateful for, right? And I've even put that on my WhatsApp. Like I have it like hashtag gratitude, and I have what are you grateful for, and then I type what I'm grateful for, because I want the people who look at my status to shift their attention a little bit. Even if I could do that a little bit, I am helping. So I want you to start shifting your mind to what you are grateful for every month. It's a great practice. Okay. Number 2, going back to those persons who may need additional resources and may need additional health, persons who suffer with depression, even outside of this, or other mental illnesses. I would suggest that you know your counseling center number, know a hotline number. I'm sure in every country there is a number that you can call. In our country, there's a number you can call. And I am so proud of the persons that are behind that they've, provided that additional support. So know the counseling hotline numbers. That is, I'm not going to come on here and just tell you, oh, just think about something you're grateful for, and that's the end of it. No, we have to be practical. Some persons may need a bit more help than others. So know those numbers, right? Or that number. Number three, utilize technology more. So technology is good and it is bad. And I would say utilize it more in that when you chat with, because we're social creatures, when you chat with your friends, make it a point to do video chats. Don't just type the messages, don't just send voice notes. Make it a note to do the video chats because that will help. You will see them. Yes, you, although you're distant, but you will feel more of a connection, right? And you can also use Google Hangouts. So for friends, maybe there's a group of you, 5 friends, you guys are accustomed to being together, to liming together. Liming, if you're not from St. Kitts, it means hanging out. St. Kitts and Nevis, it's a term we use. To me, it means hanging out. So use the Google Hangouts because it's free, right? So you can use that and you can, it works something like Zoom. You have a meeting room and everybody can tap into that meeting room. And then you can see everybody. So use your Google Hangouts, right? Also, make it a point to factor in catching up with your friends or your family regularly. So maybe you decide every other day you're going to call your friend, every other day you're going to call your aunt, your mom, your family, whomever, maybe it's every day, but make it a part of your routine that you are touching base with the people that you love, the people that you care about, or your tribe. Okay? That was the third point. Factor in connection as part of your daily routine. And especially if you have kids as well. If you have children, they need to keep in touch with their grandmother, their grandfathers, their aunts, their friends, especially for very young children, and especially if that person is an only child, they need that additional, they probably may not understand what's going on and they may need that additional support. So really factor in connection into part of your daily routine. And like I said, use the technology. Number four is something that you've heard me spoken about. And number four is meditation. And so this helps a lot. Meditation centers you, it helps a lot. If you think about it, right? Life begins with breath and it ends with breath, right? When you were born into this world, maybe you don't remember, none of us do, but when babies are born, they're spanked and then they breathe and then they cry, right? And then when you're departing this world, you take your last breath, right? And meditation focuses on the breath. And so learn how to meditate. I would encourage everybody to do that. I've posted some stuff on Facebook and Instagram. There's this really cool company called Headspace, and they have different meditations, and meditation, you're not a guru, so nobody expects you to meditate for 20 minutes or for 30 minutes. I do 20 minutes, right, every day. But nobody expects that. It can be as simple as just setting a timer or just stopping and just breathing in and breathing out and breathing in and breathing out, and you are centered, you are set, you feel much more calm. And so during this time I would actually encourage you to meditate. Okay. And the other thing, going back to meditation before I move on, you would realize whenever you are anxious or upset, if you take a moment and if you just slow down, if you just breathe, it brings you, it centers you. So really try that. Really, really, really try the meditation. And then number 5 is journal. You've heard me spoken about that. It's not going to go away. Journal, because now we are faced with ourselves. And so, like I was mentioning before, thoughts and feelings, memories of the past are going to come up, things that maybe dreams of the future, perhaps, but we want to write that down because when you write it down, you get it out. And that's very therapeutic and it's a form of helping you to cope. So journaling, okay, journaling really, really helps. Okay, I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah. So just write it down. Um, Journaling helps too, as I was saying, because I have a note here. Know things that we thoughts, especially, and feelings that we thought were buried, but were really deep in our subconscious mind, are now being brought to a conscious level, and that is what is happening, really. And so journal it out. Number six is music. Play music. Music is known to have healing therapeutic properties. So play music more, right? And but not the type of music that you're playing, because if you're going to be playing like love songs and you're alone, that doesn't make very much sense. You're just gonna make it spiral into a bigger depression, right? So play songs that are uplifting, songs of faith. It could be if you're into Christian music, you can play those. You can also play reggae music, like I was playing some reggae music the other day by Sizzler, and those were really nice. And sing, right? Use your voice and sing. It will change your energy, it will change you, right? So, music and singing. Number seven, take a sun break. And I put this in here because it helped me the other day. The other day, I went to throw away my garbage, and I was like, oh my God, this feels so good. The sun on my skin, and I stayed a little bit longer than necessary outside. Now, many persons, they may live in a house or an area where they have a yard space, they may have a veranda, and they may be able to do that consistently. If you are, that's great. I'm not really able to do that. I live in an apartment complex, and so, but it felt really good. And vitamin D is good for you, right? Vitamin D is good for you. And so take a sun break. Take a sun break ever so often. It felt really good, and I think you'll really enjoy it as well. And for those of you who have that yard space, be out in your yard, just enjoy that. Just enjoy nature. I think that it'll make a big difference. The other thing, number eight, is visualization. Visualization. And so people would speak about the law of attraction, and the secret. If you've ever looked at that movie or read the book, they speak a lot about visualization. And I feel that in this time, visualization will help a lot of us get through it. And so, what I would suggest is pick a goal that you have, pick a goal or desire or an intention that you have for your life, and every day, and you want to do it around the same time. So, you could either do it just before you go to bed, right? Or just when you get up. um, Studies have shown if you do it just before you go to bed, you put your subconscious mind to work, because then it's saying, okay, yes, this is where we're going, right? So visualize, just pick one of those and just visualize the outcome. Forget about what's going on, forget about the should, the coulds, the don't have, but forget about all that, but just visualize your goal and do that every day. And I think that's going to help you quite a lot, because then you have a hope and a focus and a purpose to work towards. And who knows, you may even get additional ideas on resources on how to get to that goal. So to choose a realistic goal, intention, or desire, and visualize that same time every day. And then number 9, this is something I got from um, a lady that I follow by the name of Gabby Bernstein, and she credits her work to a course in, is it a course in miracles? I think it's called, not a course in miracles. I'm sorry. These people called Abraham and Jerry Hicks, and it's called Reaching for a Better Feeling Thought. So it's really simple. You may feel down, or if you're angry, or if you're feeling impatient, whatever you're feeling, reach for the next best thought. Now, if you're really angry and you try to think of a joke, that probably you're probably not in the mood for that. But sit with your feeling, but reach for the next best thought. The next best thought, not the next worst thought. So reach for a better feeling thought. And the idea is the more you reach, and there's actually a scale, I can't remember the name. Oh, I think the name of the scale is the emotional guidance scale. So the idea is if you're really down here and you reach for the next thought, then you reach for the next best thought, then you reach for, then after a while you start feeling a lot better. And that is what you want to do. You want to feel a lot better. So you reach for the next, for a better feeling thought, okay? The next best thought. Really simple, but it works. I've tried it. Number 10 is to rest and sleep well. You know, we're not working. Some of us are not, many of us are not at work. And so it is tempting to binge on Netflix all day, every day, or just scroll mindlessly through Facebook and social media. And that is not something that I would encourage. I am saying, yes, they have their time and their place, but you still need to rest. Your body still needs a routine. You can't allow yourself to just go, oh, we'll stay at home and this is the situation and boom. That is, I feel, how people get into more depressive states, when there's no structure, when there's, you just feel like you have nothing to live for. Because if you're just like, you're just there, you're just doing nothing, there's no structure, it doesn't serve you well. So find a routine. I've said it in episode 42. You should have a routine. It doesn't matter if you're at home for a long period, but have a routine and find time to rest and exercise. Those two things are going to help. And so number 11 is diet. So it is very tempting. You're home and you want to eat every minute. Same for me. Every minute I want to be eating something. I don't know what it is. I think it's because we're probably home and there's nothing to do, so let me go eat. In reality, if you really take a step back, you're not really hungry. It's just our bodies, our brains are just telling us this, and it's not really so. So what I want to say to that is to be mindful of the foods that you're eating during this time. Be mindful of the junk food that you consume. Don't consume too much junk food, all right? Because that too can have an effect on, there's studies that show a link between the foods you eat and our emotional states. And so you want to be in the best possible health. And in addition to that, we're also being told to boost our immune systems, because that's one way of fighting COVID-19. And so all those things tying, you want to be mindful of your diet. All right. And so that's it. Those are my tips on mental health support during this time. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed our little chat. I certainly hope that you are able to pull a few items from here and help you, that serve you. And if you do, let me know. Send me a DM. Let me know what you've tried and what worked for you. And if it didn't work, tell me. I want to hear all about it. So let me know as well. And I am still open for coaching. COVID is not going to stop this. So if you'd like to be coached by me, send me an email to hellowaveme@thepeoplebrandskn.com, or send me a WhatsApp or call at 663-3356 869-663-3356. I know it sounds like a lot, yeah, but that's it. And so I will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. It has been my pleasure. Bye.